What's going on, guys? Welcome back once again to the channel. Today we are unboxing yet another Playmates Godzilla Kaiju figure. Today we are unboxing the Destoroyah figure by Playmates. And guys, if you would, drop a like on this video and support the channel. And as always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you're always notified anytime I upload a new video to the PopComplex, as it always helps and supports the channel out. So let's take a quick look here. We have the classic open air Playmates Bandai style packaging. And this is Destoroyah from 1995's Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. And guys, I'm going to be dropping a few mild spoilers to the film. So if you haven't seen it by now, I would suggest that you definitely go and watch the film, or you fast forward through the intro of this part. His first and only TOHO film appearance is in 1995's Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, in which he is basically created and birthed from the very force that actually destroyed Godzilla in the very first Gojira, the first Godzilla 1954 film. He was birthed from the remnants of the oxygen destroyer, which killed the very first Godzilla way back in 1954. So guys, as always, my name is Matt, and this is the Pop Complex. Guys, welcome back to the Pop Complex. Again, today we are unboxing the Playmates Godzilla Destoroyah figure. So let's take a closer look at what we have here in the packaging. So we have the epic Playmates style Godzilla font and logo. We have the official Godzilla logo there in the corner, Destoroyah. We have the Playmates logo. If we flip it around to the side, we have the same thing, the same logo, and his name Destoroyah on the sides. And on the back here we have some of the promotion of some of the other figures in the line. We have Gigan from 2004, which guys I do have, and I will be unboxing that on the channel. So stay tuned for that, guys. You won't want to miss that. And Space Godzilla, who I just unboxed here on the channel. So I will leave a link down below and a card right now up in the upper right hand corner so you can see me unbox Space Godzilla from 1994's Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. And up here is the man himself, Destoroyah. He is definitely one of the most unique designs for a kaiju up to that point in the TOHO film universe, the Godzilla film universe. So again, we have here the Godzilla logo, collect all the monsters. This is just a handful right here on the back. Let's take a closer look here, guys. We have the official TOHO Limited Studios logo and the official Godzilla logo there with the picture of Godzilla. As you can see, we have the Playmates and Godzilla.com and the legal manufacturer information, the barcode, all of that right there, guys. TOHO Company Limited. And of course, the bottom is this hollow open style box, as you can see here, which is typical of all of the other Playmates and Bandai Godzilla Kaiju figures that they have been releasing in the United States. And as you can see here, there is Destoroyah right there, and that's a face only a mother Kaiju could love right there. He is, it looks bound up, guys. He is strapped in there pretty good, but he is a very large and thick design. And his wings are folded down and strapped in there, but they do come up, as you can see him. His wings fully unfurled there on the back, and he does have 4 wings, 2 on top and 2 smaller ones that jut down, fold down from the bottom. And he does have those, they are folded up right there. You can see that, guys, but we're gonna take a closer look at that when we get this guy out of the package. And as always, there is the picture of the Godzilla toy, the Millennium Godzilla right there in black and white, a photograph of the actual toy. And there is the Japanese character Godzilla logo right there on the left side, as is typical with these Playmates Godzilla toys. So guys, let's not waste any more time. We're gonna open up Destoroyah and take a closer look. Stay tuned. All right, guys, here we have Destoroyah out of the packaging. And let me say right off the bat that this figure is pretty impressive just in its size and design. The overall design of the character itself is pretty imposing, pretty intimidating, pretty scary actually in the film. You've got this winged, the veiny wings that look like bat wings, the horn in the middle, the hollow yellow eyes, the horn-like protrusions, the fangs, the mandibles there. This is probably one of the most terrifying, frightening looking kaiju up to that point, up to 1995, that we've definitely seen. And if you take a look at his first appearance in the film, his introduction, in which this is his final form, actually, his perfect form in the climax of the film itself, it's pretty devilish. It's like basically Destoroyah is the devil himself coming up out of hell and bringing hell and fire with him. It's a pretty crazy scene, but yeah, he definitely conjures up this imagery which makes him all the more intimidating, all the more frightening and scary. So as I've been explaining this, guys, take a good look here. Look at that face. Now, I know that with these Playmates and Bandai figures that a lot of in-depth detail is kind of rare to see on these figures, and the best one that I have taken a look at so far is the Mecha Godzilla from the '74 Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla. That one actually looked very close to the actual kaiju appearance in the film, but kaiju like this, like the Space Godzilla, coming off the heels of that movie in '94, '95, a lot of the suits were getting very detailed, very intricate. This character himself has a lot of detail with, horns and spikes protruding, and just the way his chest is designed with this center puckering there in his chest. But I have to admit, he looks a whole lot better out of the packaging than he did inside the packaging, because you could only see him from the side. And a lot of his body, the paint here is just a solid coat. So not a whole lot of dry brushing over that to give it some detail, with the exception of the chest here. There's some dull orange painted over that, and some dull gray that's washed over the claws here and some of the spikes, if the camera is picking up that detail. But again, there's the face. His horn is painted a solid yellow. The eyes are yellow there, very intimidating. These horn-like ferocious bat ears, very devilish looking, very definitely intimidating and evil. It's a good likeness. It's good for this line. Again, this is a basic line. It's very affordable when they were still on the shelves. Now, I did track this guy down for a reasonable price after the fact, because I did miss him when he was on the shelves, because I wasn't actually collecting this line at the time. So I've had to track down a few of these after the fact. But again, there's the detail in his face, and the wings, as you can see there. They do have the bat-like veins and features there in the ridges, and there's some pink that's brushed over the dark reddish brown maroon color that he has overall. I'm going to flip him around here so we can take another look at the wings themselves. He has all 4 wings, and each one of the wings has its own separate articulation. So you could actually pose him with the wings folded down and folded up at a pretty high angle there that looks pretty intimidating, pretty imposing there, like it was displayed on the back of the box. But these smaller third and fourth wings, you can actually fold those down as well if you'd like, or you can fold them out. It looks like they only go up so far because of this ridge here that prevents the articulation from going any farther than it does. Let's take a look at those small dorsal spines that go down the tail. And I got to admit, guys, this was a pretty impressive tail. I'm always a fan of the long tails on the kaiju. It really gives them a really intimidating, powerful sense of scale and presence in the character themselves, but especially in these figures. Really a big fan of that. But you see he has the claw looking protrusions there, almost like a scorpion's claw or a crab's pincher there on the very end. But the interesting thing about the tail here on this particular figure is that it is in 3 different segments. And now this segment here was on the ball joint, and it was packaged for the sake of the space of the packaging. It was packaged separately, and it was just a ball joint and socket, which is typical. Just took a little wiggling and it popped right on. Didn't have any trouble with that. But that articulation is right there. And of course, with it being the ball joint, you get a full 360-degree range. But myself, I like to display these lining up the dorsal spines where it looks very natural. And there's actually a separate cut right here at the thickest part of his tail. There's another articulation there, and you can actually get a full 360-degree rotation on that one. So that's interesting to see that cut. Usually in the other figures, we've seen the actual seam in the plastic that was right here, but this is actually a separate piece of articulation there. So we've taken a good look at the figure itself overall, gotten a good look at the detail. One minor gripe that I have about this, as far as the lack of paint detail and variations in the colors on his body, is the way that this piece is sculpted right here. As you can see, there's a very hard cutoff line in this back section to his body, and I'll flip it around. It's really, really noticeable right there, guys, as you can see. Where the leg would curve. It's almost like that they cut out this piece of his body and left it a hard cut right here, so that the leg actually here where it joins the body could get some more range of motion. Now with him being posed in a certain way, with his feet at a certain angle and his leg at a certain angle, really to get him to stand flat, his feet, I'll push this back so you can see, his feet really have to be in this particular pose. If this one actually not pushed ahead a little bit more, like he's stepping forward, to get the feet flat on the ground and to get him to stand as he was intended to stand, they really have to just be stood just like this. So again, there's no real reason why you would need to get much range here, or there would need to be that cut out to get a range of articulation in this leg, when the articulation in this leg really wouldn't serve any purpose for the figure itself, because of the way that the leg is pre-sculpted. So speaking of that leg articulation, we'll go ahead and talk about it. So his leg does stop about right there. It's not quite out at a 90-degree angle. It's somewhere in between a 45 and 90-degree angle. But coming back, he only goes as far back as when he meets the base of his tail there. So there's not a huge range, but again, to get him to stand, display naturally with that foot forward, really that's about where you would need it to be. The other leg has about the same range, if not maybe a little bit more there going forward. It's almost out at a 90-degree angle forward, and he only goes back as far as he meets the base of his tail, just like the other leg, which is right there, right about there where the default pose would be for him to stand. We'll take a closer look now at the articulation in the arms. He doesn't have a whole lot of range in his arms, but as you can see, the articulation cut is right there. So it twists around, and he can get a full 360 degrees if you push this leg back a little bit with this arm here and kind of work with it. No real reason why you would need to. I like to display the arms out a little bit, poking outward like they are in the film as he carries himself. And this arm here has the same type of articulation, and you can barely get that 360 degree rotation because of the tight sculpting and the bulk of the body, but it is there. And we've already discussed the articulation in the wings and in the tail. So there is a cut at the ankle, so his feet can get a full 360 degree rotation there at the angle, or at the ankle. But I'm not really sure why you'd really want to move it very much farther inward or outward. Again, that default pose kind of right there is the sweet spot with his ankles and legs in that pose. And then of course the last piece of articulation that I usually start out with, but I've saved for last, is just the neck, the head on the neck. It does spin around to get a full 360-degree range of motion. So that, guys, is 1995's Destoroyah, as in Godzilla versus Destoroyah from that film. So guys, that was the review of this figure today by Playmates. Again, smash that like button and share this video out to all of your fellow Godzilla and Kaiju fans. It really helps the channel out. Hit that subscribe button as always, guys, and hit the bell so you're always notified anytime I upload a new video to the Pop Complex. Remember, guys, the Pop Complex is the place for all things toy collecting and retro pop culture. And also, you can support the channel by going to patreon.com/the Pop Complex. There will be a link in the description so you can go there and support the channel monetarily as well. Guys, once again, thanks for watching and have an awesome day.